Bonjour friends, good evening to everyone. So that's the first tonight because I am on my own. So if anything happens, please send me messages so I can know what's happening, if there's any technical difficulties. But otherwise, welcome to this new episode of I See by Ilanit. So intimate conversation on spiritual teaching, intuitive life coaching, and personal guidance. If you want to join, because the idea of the show is to bring each time a teaching that we're going to discuss, something for you to look into, to see life through a spiritual eye. But in between the different part of the teaching that I'm about to bring, I would like to take some breaks, meet with some of you. You can come just to say hello, to participate to the conversation if there's anything you want to share about it. Or like I said, just come and ask for questions more personal. I don't like to call it reading because for me, it's not about, many times reading are seen as somebody that is here to tell you about your future understanding. And for me, it's really about being practical, about the spiritual teaching. From the time I was very young, I discovered my empathic and intuitive nature. And like many people, would have spiritual experiences. But I like to emphasize on the idea of being like a coach, somebody that can provide information about what we call the game of life, and that are more specific to everyone so you can become the best player. Anyone from Dwayne Wade or LeBron James, and just to do your thing on the field. And so before we go into it, I just want to remind you that in order to come and participate, you can come at any time and just being patient because like I said, I have prepared a lot of information to share with you. Like I said, for me, it's just about being that mediator, that teacher that's here to awaken the heart, the mind, and really coming from a place of pure love and light. And just to do that, it's the best gift that I can receive in my life. And hopefully you will see it as is as well. So if you choose to come on live to participate or ask questions, it's very simple. When you go on your YouTube or on Facebook, there is a link. It's a blue link with the title StreamYard. And all you have to do is to click on it and it will bring you inside the studio. And when you're there, like I said, depending on how many people are there, I would bring on the show and we can discuss, get to know each other. If you are part of my people, my friends, just to catch up and say hi, that would be wonderful. And of course, you can always leave some comment because they come here on the studio. So I'm going to have to put my glasses because I already see somebody leaving a message. So it's Leslie. Hi, Leslie. So for people that are originally friends with our dear friend Joseph Lopoto and Kristen, I met with them months ago and it was instant connection at the level of our soul. And since then, we've been doing a lot of things together. And so I'm on Tuesday, Kristen on Monday, and the two of them together on Wednesday night for delivering messages. Actually, I was on the show with Kristen on Monday. And so for those that are paying attention, on this kind of information, Monday, which I was not aware previously, was International Women's Day. And with Kristen, we had decided that we will address all people about the idea of creating events for goddess, woman of value, we will say in the Kabbalistic jargon, women that have a consciousness that want to rise the people that they encounter to bring more light in their life and to create a community of like-minded women that can support each other. And so I mentioned that because somehow it kind of triggered the teaching that I wanted to talk today. But before we go there, I always like to set a moment for each one of us to tune inside and take the time to set an intention. What would you like to see improving in your life? What would you like have more clarity, more control, maybe feeling a closer connection with the divine? So you can close your eyes if you want, and I'm going to ring my singing bowl, and whenever the sound here will stop, we'll be able to start. Welcome back. So I wanted to discuss today the concept of light worker, or what I like to say, light warriors. Many times people associate this concept about people that are like lighthouse in the dark, people that bring light into the world. The thing is, it's been many times associated with people that deal with spiritual modalities. But the reality of it goes back to the essence of who we are. It says we've been created at the image of God. And what does it mean? It means that inside each one of us, there is a spark of the light force that really just waiting for our awakening or acknowledgement that this is what we are really here to do. Each one of us choose a scenario, I will say, about where we're going to be born, what we're going to learn, what we're going to do. But the reality of it is like playing a character filled with different opportunities, challenges, a mix of both experiences that's going to allow them to express that spark of light. Now, a light worker is somebody that understands that this is the ultimate purpose for which we were created. And you find people that can be yogis, Kabbalists, we'll say, anyone that really do some volunteer or work or doing things that are really about helping and leaving a mark on earth. But the reality is what people don't understand is that to be a light worker doesn't automatically connect to be a channel for spiritual modalities. You can be an electrician and be a light worker. You can be a cook and be a light worker. It's really about the mindfulness that exists inside of us that determine that condition, which is where do I put my intention? Do I understand that I can have any form of trade in my life, but at the end of the day is to be able to interact with someone. I can be a realtor and noticing that as I meet with people, people might open up to me and really I sell houses, but maybe I sell light, really. And this is really beautiful to understand it that way because it means that it is limitless. It's just about setting the intention and understanding that we choose certain places, certain work, but it doesn't matter. We can be doing anything and still being a light worker. as I was writing this part of the teaching, it came to me, and I couldn't remember the title, because once the first time I saw this movie was in French, with the actress that used to play Sarah Mitchell Gellar. I'm not sure how we say her name in English, that used to be Buffy, the vampire slayer. And in that movie, she used to be a chef. And in every time she will cook, her emotion will go through the food, and this emotion will awaken the same emotion into people. And it could be joy and love, but also tears of surrendering to an emotion. And this is what I was thinking about it. This is what a light worker is somebody through his own vibration, his own energy, his own experience, and the love that he put in what he's doing, and to make a connection that he can affect other people. And I want to specify about this word connection, because for those that are familiar, the word yoga means connection. And you know, I've been training in yoga for many years, and following, you know, and for me, whenever my soul is guiding me toward learning something, I know that I want to always go to the original, to what is authentic. And I've been following a lot of different yogis, and the true one are kind of laughing about what we did about yoga. Like yoga suddenly becomes some form of exercise, which is really not what it is all about. Is to use the body that become the vehicle for the light force to be flowing, to be creating healing if there is any blockages. And it's really a time where we can set ourselves into a pose, and is not just a pause P-O-S-E, but a pause P-A-U-S-E, when you can reflect of what do you feel, what is going through right now. And just like a meditation, we're not here to stop the thoughts, but to see them coming, observing them, and releasing them. And so really the idea of light worker is people that will understand that every spiritual teaching is not a way to escape from reality, or worse, a trend like in some places yoga had become, but is a way to create our own reality, is to work toward creating our reality. And this idea of work is essential. And I had received this thought many years ago about the word work. The first time we talked about work in the Torah, the Ancient Testament, is when Adam and Eve committed the original sin, which again, thanks to the teaching of Kabbalah, which is really to give you the behind the scene, the secret coding of the Torah, we understand that the sin is not in the way we think of it. Is really to create a circumstance for people then to become in charge and become co-creator. And so the idea of work appeared there in the first time. After that original sin, it was said, so from then on, men will labor and sweat to earn their bread, and women will labor to bring child. Now, this idea of labor should not be seen as something that it is any form of punishment. And I will discuss that a little bit later, is the idea of working, contributing to the manifestation of the light force. And now I want to say, from my background in psychology, I remember, you know, in one of my first classes, it was in psychology, talking about how work is good and work is also giving us life. You know, growing up in France, people must retire to a certain age, and there is not like here in the United States the possibility, if you are healthy and you want to keep working, you keep on working. Now, of course, there's people that must work, but the idea of work doesn't have to end because you reach a certain age. And I remember in that class, they were saying that things started to go down the hill when actually people stop working because they feel they don't contribute. And I remember the teacher saying, well, suddenly elder people, not automatically because they're sick, they go to the doctor just to go to a place where they're going to be with somebody and talk and get the attention. And it's really the idea that through work, there is a creation that is made. And so really is to understand this idea that work should not, we should remove this idea, work as a laboring thing and as something that is out of a punishment. You know, whether we work on a job or we work on exercise, usually the feeling afterward when we accomplish something, we feel good. And I would like to share a story that one of my teacher had shared with me about how do we know that as people, we want to be able to work. It's the story of this young boy that his passion in life was to build puzzles. And in his town, so we're talking about old days, there was a puzzle maker. And so the child was excited every time, that a new puzzle was created, and he could not wait to go home and start creating that puzzle. Then one day, the puzzle maker made such a beautiful puzzle creation, he couldn't bring himself to break it into pieces. So when the boy came, he handed to him as is, as the old picture of the puzzle. So the child looked at him and he looked sad. So the man couldn't understand. Say, why you don't like the puzzle? Isn't it beautiful? He said, yes, it's beautiful, but what I enjoy the most is to work, to reveal that beauty. And this is really how we should see our participation in life and how we can all become, a creator in this reality and being part of this masterpiece creation that life is. And so this is the first idea when it comes to work. So the second point that I would like to bring is, so if work is at the foundation of our lives and what we here on earth, then ultimately, what is the real work that we need to do? And so many times people talk about light work as if we were to create the light. The truth is, as a human being, the light is everywhere and has been created already. There's nothing really that we create. The light is within us. The light is in the vegetable kingdom, is in nature, is in the animals, is all around. As human beings, what we have is the ability to create a vessel, we call it, for the light to rest upon it and to be manifested. So now when we talk about this idea of vessel and this idea of manifesting, it implies, like I said, working for it, sharing it. And this is to remind us to the origin of time. At the origin, if we could picture it that way, we were one vessel, all the soul connected into one bowl that the light was filling. Now imagine, you're in constant state of receiving. At some point, the connection, the spirit started to think, oh, I would like to be also the one to share. And so this is what's happened. They created a conflict between, I don't want just to receive anymore. And so that's how the souls, and this is obviously a very simplified way, separated. Now we were having on one side the vessel and the light, and came into the world and decided to experience their spark of light by becoming like the light, which means wanting to share and just not to receive. Another story that illustrates why is through our action of sharing and the spiritual work that we do that we really truly find fulfillment. There is a story that goes like this. Two friends that have been together their whole life. One of them opened a restaurant. So the other friend, of course, wants to support his friend. So he goes eat in the place and his friend is telling him, the bill is on me. Then the friend thinks the restaurant is amazing, the food is amazing. He wants to go again because he wants to give the business to his friend. He goes a second time and the friend says, the bill is on me. And things goes on like this a few times until the friend feels completely ashamed because he cannot give anything back. And this is really us human beings in regard and relation with the light force. We are in not knowing it because then there is the conflict. We still remember our nature of wanting to receive. And so that's why we go around life complaining or wanting more. But what we forgot is that we wanted to share, and by sharing, we can then receive that experience of life. And think about it that way. I am, for example, my birthday coming around the corner, and I want to be able to come on live and discuss that topic of birthday, for example. But think about the feeling between it is your birthday and you receive present, and you organize secretly a birthday party for a friend of yours, and that person has no idea, and you are working and you are making sure that everything is going to be perfect. It is beautiful to receive present, but really think about it. When you work really hard to make something very special, it's like exhilarating because you are the one creating that, and as you do it, not only you receive the excitement by preparing it, but then also to see the joy in the face of the people you love. So again, is to reinforce this idea that is true work and that this is true what we share rather than just what we receive, that we find that fulfillment. So let me see, I see somebody's trying to come in. Hey, I see Kimberly. Kimberly, I don't know, for whatever reason you didn't come on. Maybe let me take you out and try to sign in again, okay? Okay, maybe you can try again right now. Hopefully it works. So those were part number 2 about being a light worker and being working and sharing. So I mentioned before the idea that the light exists. We don't create light. We just create a vessel that manifests the light. So part number 3, how do we build a vessel? So because the vessel resonates with the idea of not receiving, the first part is to restrict or desire to receive for oneself alone, okay, which is a different thing than wanted to receive in able to share. If let's say you said, please, I'm going to play the lottery and make me win it because I want to be able to do charity, I want to create a foundation. This is what we call receiving for the sake of sharing. Now, receiving is I want it now. And this is the oneself alone. So restricting this impulse to want for oneself and then sometimes to create a tantrum because you want from oneself is the first way you create a vessel. Now, when I used to teach spirituality for children, I would give them this analogy. Imagine you are a player in the game of life. And so what you want to do, you want to bring light into the world. To do that, you need to face an opponent. So an opponent has different form. can be the dark force in your head, or it can be the challenge that you encounter that try to trigger the dark force in your head. Everybody follows? Okay. The rules into that game of life is as following. Every time you restrict, every time you share, you win point. Now, the adversary doesn't win points directly. He only wins points when you give him points, which means whenever you don't share and you react. Okay? So the idea is to really see life every time you get a challenge. Let's say you met this person that is working on your case, and you're going to try to connect with the light within you and restrict. You earn points. You create a vessel for the light to be manifested. So in other terms, if let's say you use patience, let's say you're driving in the street and there's traffic jam and there's this guy that passing in front of you and all what you want to do is scream and you don't, then you build a vessel, and you build a vessel of patience. Okay, so what's really interesting is that when we come on this planet, obviously there are all different type of challenges, but we need to realize, and the person that talked really beautifully about that and is a book for adults but also for children, it's Conversation with God. And he explained that we all volunteer in this world to work on many aspects, but one specific topic is always at the top of the list of what we are working on. Okay, and so this is our work, and I will give some exercise about that to figure it out how to work to fix that topic, because we're going to be triggered all the time. My teacher used to say, we're going to have a button being pushed into those areas that are challenging for us. Okay, so for some people is being angry, so for people, you know, is having worries to maybe give more money because they're scared of missing. So all those things. So in order to do that, in order to save energy, one of the things that one person can do is to find something that they feel passionate about and give their all. And like I said, being a light worker doesn't have to be specifically in the field of spirituality. It's find something that you can sink your teeth in and give 100%, you know, of your strength doing it, with the consciousness that with every work we do, because we know that when we work, we generate energy, and we know that energy never gets lost and can go into different places. Through consciousness, through intention, through meditation, we can send this energy toward different things that we want to affect. Okay? So, like I said, everyone choose to work on one specific topic. Can anyone tell me if everything is working well? Yes. Okay. I guess it seems to work because Kimberly, you know, didn't come back. So I was hoping if Kimberly, you listen and you want to send a message, you know, so I know that everything was working, that would be fantastic, my friend. Okay. So I can go now to this other part of this idea of specifically working on one aspect. This idea of working one aspect is going to also directly be connected to our essence. What is it inside of us that we have extra to share? And in spiritual world would be, what is your essence? What is your name? Now I want to make a connection, because this is where I'm rooting, you know, my spirituality into the world of Kabbalah. Kabbalah works with many cosmic events to guide us through the journey of life. And we have cosmic event on daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, and so much more. Every week on Saturday, which is the day of Shabbat, we read a portion of the Torah, which is basically to give us the DNA, the influence that's going to be available during that week. And it's just incredible for people that are familiar with that practice. Every week, every portion that you read, so many times is aligned to the dot perfectly, there's no other word, to what might happen on a personal level or on a global level. So this Saturday particularly, we're going to read the last portion of the second book of Moses, which is known as the books of Exodus. Now the Kabbalists have been teaching us that the word Exodus doesn't translate the actual Hebrew name for this book, which is Shemot. Shemot means the names. Now, during that whole book, we discuss the journey of the Israelites in the desert after leaving Egypt. And I wanted to bring to your attention the connection of those two. In order to find your name, your divine name, because really this book, Shemot, talks about the power of the divine name, the attribute of the light force, you must walk through the desert. Now, the desert, it's a symbolic, is whenever you walk into uncomfortable places, facing your challenges. I'm just going to see who's saying hello here. Hi, Paula. Are we hearing me well? If you can answer that just to make sure. And just wanted you to know that if you want to hop in live, just to click on the StreamYard link, I would be more than happy to come and say hello or provide guidance or coaching tip, whatever fits. Okay. So like I was saying, this idea of the desert is really whenever we walk facing our challenges, facing, like I said, those energies that are here to challenge us in order to trigger the response that can manifest the light in it. So for example, we might be triggered, to constantly have being stuck into traffic or having delays when we need to work on patience. Okay? So this is really this idea of to become a beacon of the light cannot be separated with facing challenges. And challenges don't have to be hurting us. They're just here to trigger our ability and get us out of that comfortability that we want to be in to do the job that we said in the first place we wanted to do. What happened in regard to challenge? Personality in regard to it. Of gray to white. So the first personality in regard to challenges is what I call black is black. Those are the people that no matter what, they think they have it the worst in the world. Nobody can really compare. They're the ultimate victim mind. People that life is just here to get them and there's nothing to do about it. And somehow there's also a level of pride that sometimes happen like, no, you cannot understand because what I'm going through, this is the worst. Then there is the first gray type, okay? And the gray is still black. Those are people that for a moment you might show them that there is people that are suffering more than them, that they still have some good and blessing and maybe they should have gratitude. But they might think about it, but then the gravity of that pull, that try to keep them in that place of being victim, always bring them back. They're not willing to do any work. Okay? Then there's the third category. There's the people that are still thinking gray, but gray could become white. Those are people that just need a legs up. They just need a little bit love. They just need a little bit guidance. They just need to feel that they're not alone walking on the path. And that eventually, if they're capable to open themselves to the right people, to seek for help, there are people that eventually can raise themselves and go above the water. And last, you have white is light. These people, they don't automatically have easy life, but everything for them is good. Everything is light. Everything is part of a bigger picture that ultimately will take you in a place of goodness. And everything will be fine. And as long that they're in their consciousness, there is a place of love and trust and certainty, they are there. Even if around things might collapse, they're still fine. And really to be able to shift, it sends us back to the ultimate concept that we always go to: spiritual tools and spiritual community. We go through life with that need of support. We need, the only thing that we really can have a choice. We might not choose the challenges that come to us, but we can choose our consciousness and how we're going to respond to it. And we can choose the people that we decide to surround ourselves with. And this is ultimately where we have the most power. And as we find people, and like I was discussing, and it brings us back to the conversation I had Monday with Kristen, when we surround people with the desire to either raise their vibration or of an higher vibration more aligned with who we are, we become a fuel for each other. We support each other. And not only by getting together, we can practice spiritual modality that, again, bring us in a place of mindfulness, of looking at life, like I always say, to see life through a spiritual eye. But it also invites us that where we are separated, to learn about practices and to keep on doing the work on our own. And ultimately, is always going back to that. Like I said, when people come to me, and I'm using tools such as Kabbalistic numerology and astrology, this is really what we discuss. It's how we can become proactive, we can become co-creator with the light force of our reality, and again, participate to the ultimate picture for the world, like this masterpiece of the world that we want to see, eventually reconnected with love and light always. So this is ultimately, what I am fond of. For some of people that been knowing me personally, I never been shy about sharing that my journey, which started as a child, really through memories that came back to me, was very much like a boot camp. Experienced really a lot of challenges that made me realize that I have the presence of the divine and I was guided. But I know that if you were to have someone that is giving you a hand, a friend, a teacher, and again, I'm all into helping people do the work on their own, but truly to come and to know that they are not alone. Eventually, you will realize, like I used to tell my kids, beyond Clark Kent, there is a Superman. And inside each one of us, this is what there is. Beyond, that more shy or introvert or maybe insecure or with hurt that we experience, in our heart there is endless love, endless power. And really, I am humbled, to be coming here, meeting with you in private session, just to remind you of that. like I used to say as a teacher, there used to be philosophy about that children need to be taught. And there's also philosophy that says children need to be reminded. And I think this is beautiful because, and this is what I will conclude for tonight. Many times people think is about doing work for the soul. And I think sometimes it's a misconception of using the word, because we are soul having a human experience. And so we want to get our soul back into control, to remind, because as it says, when a child is inside the womb, is shown his previous life, what he had learned, what he need to continue working on. And it says at the time of birth, there's an angel that put his finger right here, which is the reason for the gap right here, that say, now you're going to forget and you're not going to say, and you're going to through the journey to remember. And I really think that this is what this journey is about, to remember that our soul is eternal. And the more we're going to do that work and we're going to get the soul to be in charge, the more we're going to be able to see that the spiritual world doesn't have to be somewhere, like we say, up here, there in heaven. It can be right here on earth. And as we bring more and more people, we can rejoice in the knowing that we are all connected and that we truly are one. So I would like to do something a little bit different, if you want to still bear with me tonight. In the past, I've been pre-recording meditation to end the show. And for whatever reason, this week I felt that let's try something different and let's try to do it live. So for those that are there, I would like you to close your eyes. I know it's been a lot of information. And so I would like just for you to tune into your breath and allow my voice, my words, to guide you into your subconscious mind. Inhale deeply, hold it, and exhale out. Again, inhale in and exhale out. One more time, inhale in and exhale out. Relax yourself. Relax your head. Relax your shoulders. Relax your arms, your hands, your whole body, your legs, your feet. Relax your skin. Relax your mind. And now pay attention of your body sitting wherever you are. Eyes closed. Letting your breathing giving you the rhythm in and out. As you feel more and more relaxed, I would like you to visualize your spirit, your soul within you. Rising above your head, rising above the ceiling of your house, flying above, noticing the city, the nature around you, like if you were in an airplane looking at the earth below. And as you feel comfortable into that floating position, liberated from the heaviness of the body, I want you to travel a little bit higher into the sky, into the atmosphere, in the universe, surrounded by the light, the stars. You feel so light, so free of worries, of pressure, of needs, of need to attend, of need to want things. Among the stars, you feel your essence, your true self. Like a little dancing light, you feel joyful, peaceful, expandable. And as you get in tune into that essence of yours, above all the worries, above all the demands, you start noticing more specifically what you are about, who you are, what is your name. Breathing in it and out. So what is your name? Are you a giver? Are you the one attending to the needs of others? The one helping? Feel the lack, the worries. Are you worthy? The one we can always count on when things get difficult, challenging. You are loyal, trustworthy, and to help others you will move mountains. Are you wisdom? Have you been told you were an old soul? And through your words, uplifting the spirits, bringing solace. Are you peace? Are you the one always knowing what to do, what to say, to help everyone feel rested, feel secure, no matter what's happening into their lives? Are you certainty? Are you the one that can provide that light in the dark, knowing that everything will be all right? Are you love? Ever giving your heart to those in need around you? Feel yourself. What is your name? And at the sound of my gong, I want you to say it out loud. Breathe in. Say your name. Last time, breathe in and say your name out loud. Now that you know who you are, keep living this truth every day. Be a channel of the light in this world. And if none of those names were exactly yours, name yourself. Be yourself. Enjoy a little bit more this sense of serenity, of knowing, of being one with the light. And so whenever you are ready, you can wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, take a deep breath in, hold it, and out. And open your eyes. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you had a great and meaningful time. I would like to remind you that you can connect to me through my Facebook page at IC by Ilanit. There is also my number if you want to reach out and inquire about how to set up a time, personal time where we'll work together. Keep on sharing. This is how we reach out. This is how we bring the light into the world. And we'd like to wish you a beautiful night. Bonsoir. And I'll see you around. Bye.